Hi everybody, Al Bernstein here with one of my blogs, and perhaps the last one of the year, and the one filled with more melancholy than any of the other ones, because this is the one in which I take a look back at the folks who left us in the sport of boxing this past year. And there were some extremely important and special people that did in fact leave this earth that were related to the sport of boxing. One was a champion in the 1960s who held a very important distinction. His name was Lionel Rose, and he was, of course, Australian. He won a world championship, and in fact was the only Aborigine, the only original Australian Aborigine to win a world title. So that was quite an achievement. He was an excellent fighter. Gennaro Hernandez, the wonderful super featherweight who won titles in the 80s and 90s, and you see often on our forum boxing fights, passed away, lost his battle to cancer, and left this earth much too early. Of course, he was a great friend to all of us, and he will be missed. He became a very good ringside commentator as well during the latter part of his life. Another young man, another fighter who you see here on Boxing Channel with our fabulous forum fights, passed away this year, Hector Lopez, who fought brilliantly in the 80s and 90s on those fights at the forum. And you can see him on our channel in a couple of his great battles, one against Sammy Fuentes and also against Bernard Taylor. Just an excellent, excellent fighter, and represented boxing extremely well on the West Coast of the United States. A man who did not get in the ring but made lots of fights happen, the flamboyant flamboyant promoter, Butch Lewis, passed away this year. And Butch was a larger-than-life figure. Of course, everyone knows the trademark of his garb, which was to wear a tuxedo or a suit with no shirt. Created that style. Butch made some very big fights happen, and of course he was very associated and well known because of that association with Michael Spinks, among other champions. A man who was a Hall of Famer, is a Hall of Famer, even in passing. One of the great trainers of all times, Georgie Benton, who worked with great fighters and also great trainers like Eddie Futch and Lou Duva. And Georgie knew more boxing than maybe anybody on the planet. He was just a brilliant trainer, and had tremendous knowledge of the sport. Scott Ledoux, the former heavyweight from Minnesota, who was a contender in that division years ago, and fought in the United States tournament that ABC put on, and during that time was best known for knocking Howard Cosell's toupee off. Easy for me to say. A lot of people remember him just for that alone, but he was also an excellent fighter. Scored a win over Kenny Norton later in his career. Also leaving us this year, a heavyweight that is synonymous with Britain, his home, and a place he represented so well, Henry Cooper, Sir Henry Cooper, in fact, who was the British and Commonwealth champion for such a long time, and fought top Americans like Muhammad Ali, who fought twice, and had Ali down in their first fight, but never could pull off the win, and never could become a world champion. But of course, he fought at a time when it was pretty tough to become a world champion. And so we'll miss Henry Cooper. And finally, the last couple of folks to mention, also heavyweights. Ron Lyle, the heavyweight from Denver, who fought in that same era of Ali and Frazier and Foreman and all those greats. Ron Lyle passed away, and Ron was a fighter who, like Henry Cooper, never became world champion, but did everything but. He did fight Ali. He fought George Foreman in that tremendous brawl that they had, which many people believe to this day is one of the great fights in heavyweight history. And finally, we lost Joe Frazier this past year. Joe, one of the icons of boxing, who, as I said when we eulogized him earlier when he passed away, his legacy is certainly enhanced by his fights with Muhammad Ali, but it is not defined by that. Joe Frazier did many other great things in the sport of boxing beyond that, and while that is the cornerstone of what he did, he was a tremendous champion on his own, in his own right, and he will be missed, as will all the other people I just talked about.